Fin 10 family, it is day 61. 9 days to go. Almost done. Crazy how fast this goes. I know I keep saying this, but the days just they're just going by like there's no tomorrow. Or I guess there is a tomorrow. Scans will be up shortly here. That is, a scan calendar will be up, so you can book your scans for next week, which will happen. I don't want to run them till the challenge is done, unless you have to have it done early. So we'll probably start them on the Saturday. So that'll be the day after the last day of the challenge. And yeah, we'll book your final scan, and then we'll wrap up the challenge. So today I want to talk to you about a product that I carry called Sinner C. And as you know by now, a lot of these products are not just one particular compound. They are usually a multitude of compounds that work synergistically, hence their name Sinner C. That is, they are a formulation where they all work together in unison to support the overall outcome of the product. So as you probably know, this is vitamin C, but in addition to that, we have compounds like quercetin, bromelain, and grapeseed extract. So let's go through this. I think vitamin C you probably know by now is immune enhancing. It's also necessary for the health of our gums and a whole host of other important health matters. In terms of quercetin, this is an antioxidant. So you know, if it's an antioxidant, you know right away it's going to be, or it's supposed to be, anti-carcinogenic, that is anti-cancerous. But also it is antiviral, antimicrobial, and it has many anti-inflammatory properties. Quercetin is one of the flavonoids, one of the many flavonoids. I think there's over 500. Of course, these are compounds, antioxidants that we find in fruits and vegetables. This is actually one product I took when I had COVID, if I could say that word here on video, just to help speed up the recovery process. Not sure if it did, but took it anyways. Bromelain, another one of the compounds in here. Now, bromelain is a very popular anti-inflammatory. This is really good for helping to heal injuries, especially, but also bromelain is really important when it comes to recovering from infections such as pneumonia, sinusitis, and bronchitis. It promotes immunity, hence why it's in here. Grapeseed extract works in conjunction with vitamin C to help enhance the immune system, but it's also known as a strong antioxidant. Yet again, another antioxidant. It's supportive to the cardiovascular system, and it is hypotensive. That is, it helps to reduce, as do many antioxidants, it helps to reduce your blood pressure. So any people out there who are suffering from blood pressure, increase your antioxidants. Vitamin C is also an antioxidant as well. In addition, grapeseed extracts also antimicrobial, which is basically means it works against many bacterias. So Sinner C, another great product. Not one of my top 3, but this is definitely one. I actually take 4 of these per day. And there's a good amount of everything in here. Not an extreme amount, of course. Not a super concentrated amount, but there is a decent amount of quercetin, bromelain, each 50 milligrams in each capsule. And in terms of the grapeseed extract, there is 20 milligrams. The grapeseed extract is also 95% proanthocyanidins, so that just means the active component of it. So it's very, very pure. Sinner C by ATP Lab. Okay. Question here. What are the 3 types of body fat that I mentioned in videos prior to this? Okay, there's 3 types of body fats. Well, there actually might be more than that, but for sake of simplicity in this video, there are 3 types of body fat that we carry. One is the one that we're also familiar with, the subcutaneous fat. This is the fat that sits basically beneath the skin and the muscle. And there are benefits to body fat. Obviously, we have to have some of it. And many of our organs, like our brain and our nervous system, is composed of fatty tissue. In terms of subcutaneous fat, yes, it has a function. It helps to insulate us. It helps to cushion against injury. And it also, of course, serves as a reservoir for extra energy. Of course, I'm sure you'd probably all figure out by now, if you are a super fat person and you were stuck on an island, you'd probably survive the longest out of anybody if there wasn't any food available. But of course, subcutaneous fat is the dreaded fat, the one that we don't want. Nobody wants subcutaneous fat, but you need some of it, and this varies from individual to individual. For example, if I sit at about 14 or 15% body fat, my training is optimal. If I go below that, I find that my training suffers. That is, my strength will start to go down, and I just don't seem to have the same kind of recovery. Kind of interesting to note. So I'm just not meant to be a super lean person. 14 or 15% body fat is not super fat, but it's not like incredibly lean either. Visceral fat, this is a second type of body fat. This is what we find in the abdomen, and it surrounds a lot of our major organs. And of course, this will help to protect our organs. It's also another source of energy. I mean, all fat is a source of energy, of course. And this is really one that we want to try to keep lower. We don't want to have huge amounts of visceral fat in and around the organs. Number 3, we have ectopic fat. Ectopic fat is the fat within the organs. Again, this is not something that we want to carry a lot of. It seems to interfere with organ function. And it's also associated with, not causal per se, but it's strongly associated with insulin resistance, aka type 2 diabetes. So listen, a lot of these things are, like, for example, when we say it's associated with insulin resistance, a lot of these things are, I think what they are is they're really a reflection of lifestyle habits. So if we have poor lifestyle habits, we tend to have diabetes, and we also tend to get fat, but it's not necessarily one causing the other. It's just really as a result of our lifestyle habits. Okay, let's get to the message of the day as I get to 8 minutes here, and I'm trying to be as concise as possible. Day 61, message of the day: it is not true that people stop pursuing their dreams because they grow old. Rather, they grow old because they stop pursuing their dreams. And you know what? There is truth to this, and not necessarily just exactly what these words say, but even when it comes to physicality, I think a lot of people, they start to have aches and pains as they get older, and they think that this is a sign for them to slow down. When the reality is aches and pains, just like aches and pains when you're pursuing a goal, are inevitable. They are going to happen regardless. And aches and pains are not going to happen when you're young, not necessarily because you're young, but just because your exposure to these types of things, in terms of time, in terms of wear on the body, has just not been very long. You haven't been exposed to wear on the body for very long. As we age, we get exposed to more wear. Now, this doesn't mean that it's not reversible or fixable. Fixable word? I guess it's a word. A lot of what we think is not fixable, or signs that we need to slow down or back off, it's not necessarily so. Now, maybe we have to temporarily back off and maybe readjust, but typically these are just signs that maybe there's an imbalance, there's something else we need to work on, or it's a reflection of poor training mechanics and whatnot. We should be able to carry on our life being very physically active, including completing intense exercise activity. Just a reminder for those of you out there, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, even your 60s is not old, all right? Old is like 80s and 90s. So I want you to get that through your mind. Anyways, down a rabbit hole I go. Let me read this one more time. It's not, excuse me, it is not true that people stop pursuing their dreams because they grow old. Rather, they grow old because they stop pursuing their dreams. You let yourself get old. Do not let yourself get old. Of course, we are all aging, but we can slow down our, if you want to call biological age. Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. See you guys.